In a previous video, I applied Anderson's weed and feed, which was back at the end of April. And the next application is the lawn food, which I should have applied at the beginning of June. But now it's June 29th and I'm just now getting around to it. As I'm working on other projects, there are some that get put on hold, like this one. We haven't had any rain here for the last 3 weeks now, and in this last week, we've had temperatures reach almost 100 degrees. And what makes this worse is I never set up a sprinkler, so this yard definitely took a beating. Some spots are too far gone and other spots can bounce back, but I'm still gonna put down this lawn food to help out where it can.
Now before I do that, I went ahead and did a pass on my mower just to even out some of the areas that are still growing. Also, I'm cutting the grass in the morning before temperatures rise, and I always keep my mower on the highest setting. If you take a look at this side of the yard, you notice that half of this is not fully affected by the summer stress. I'll explain what I think it is later in this video. Also, this side is still kind of dominating, but we're going to make it better. First, I'm going to apply the lawn food. The bag lists you should apply 3.6 pounds per 1,000 square feet. My whole front yard is about 3,300 square feet, which I should be putting down between 11 and 12 pounds. And I'm using the Earthway broadcast spreader. And this setting needs to be on 14. Also, you want to make sure you apply this to a dry lawn. If you had any recent rain or you irrigate your lawn, just make sure it's dry before applying. So this bag of lawn food contains 28% nitrogen, which 7% of that is a slow release, 12% potash, and 1% iron. The nitrogen helps give the lawn its green color, along with the boosting growth. The potash, or potassium, helps thicken the grass blades and give it the strength it needs to withstand this summer stress. And the iron will help prevent the yellowing of your lawn, but can also help give your lawn a deeper green. If you got any fertilizer on the walkway, driveway, or street, make sure you sweep or blow that back into the lawn. Next, you want to water it in and give it a nice jump start. For now, I'm just going to water it by hand since the wind started to pick up. And if you usually bag your clippings, make sure you skip that next time you mow your lawn.
If you come this far, consider subscribing and give a thumbs up if you like this video. Now going back to this area and why I think this side is doing better than the other. And for that, I have to take you back about 10 years to when I was having this house built.
At the time, I wasn't too familiar about how things usually go with the building process and the landscaping of the yard. Going back and looking at some of the photos I've taken, I noticed that the grading of the yard was not done properly. There should have been a fine grade and a layer of topsoil, but instead, they put sod right on top of this. And some of the bushes that were planted ended up dying within a year because the yard was too compacted and filled with large rocks and asphalt. So I ended up ripping all these out. And with this tree, I noticed about 2 years ago that the roots were growing up and back towards the trunk. Before I did any digging, I called 811 to mark the yard. That's when I found out that the power line is right underneath the tree. So we did a little digging and pulled it right out. Here, you can see how bad the ground really is. So going back to this side of the yard, the section that is doing well was never messed with when the house was being built. It wasn't until probably about 6 years ago that I called the power company so they can trim some of the trees that was around this telephone pole. Not only that, but these trees were already dying. So we went ahead and cleared out this area. There's already good soil here, but we did a little grading, put some more topsoil down, and a few rows of sod. Which is why this section has always done better than the rest of the yard.
Which is why good soil is a big factor in keeping your lawn lush and green. The roots need to be able to go deeper, but the way my yard is, it kind of prevents from doing that. Now I've always tried to keep my yard looking great, but it takes a lot of work to keep it like that. Yes, aerating your lawn should help with the compacted soil, but this yard needs a little bit more work than that. I eventually plan to tear this out, fine grade this yard, along with adding good soil. I also have plans to add some small trees and a few native plants back in this area again. But that will be in a future video as I do have multiple projects currently in the works. If you stuck around this long, thank you for watching, and if you have any comments or questions, leave them down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.